All right. So I'm sorry if I'm dressed the same, if I am in the same spot again, uh, but I have time this morning, and there's a lot of video to be made, a lot of cool topics that I wanna discuss. So I'm gonna use that time to do so. So yes, here I am again. Um, okay, this one is about. There's a question that I've been asked in the RPG Consortium, a Technique Consortium group, which seems to have moved to a less technique oriented discussion and sometimes allowing as well theory or conceptual question discussion. So here I am. I'm not much of a technique guy, but when you want to talk concept and theory, I like it. So and I like questions. So this question is from Runeslinger, but you find it somewhere else, and it's the idea. It's how do a system shape play. So it's not if system matters. All right, that's not the question. So I'm not gonna answer that question that way. I know some people took that route. I'm not gonna take that route. So it's not if system matters. We had that discussion in the past, and great Moonslinger video from way back. And so no, I'm not gonna go that route. I'm gonna go how do system shape play. Now this is a question of design. All right, so it's not if it shapes play, because that's obvious. So I'm not going to talk about that neither. It's design, like how. That's a great question. So, okay. First, we recently talked about prompt. In role playing games, I like it. I love prompt, and I kind of like need it. Actually, it's more than like it. I kind of like need it. What I like in a design, and this is to answer the question. It's when a game has a prompt. It's when the designer comes to with this idea of, okay, so I want the experience of play to be a certain way, to produce a certain thing. It can be emulating a genre. It can be emulating a cultural reality, like teenage angst, in Monster Heart, for example. But it's like okay, so I want the experience of play to do something, and for that, in order to be able to do that, I need to control your behavior. There's an amazing conference from Luke Crane and Jared Sorensen together. It's hard to find online, but you can still find it. It's called RPG Design is Mind Control. That's the title. It says it all. So it's just not just RPG design that is mind control. It's design. Design. All right, everything is designed. It's designed in a certain way that's going to structure your experience. This chair makes me sit a certain way by design. This computer is designed a certain way. It's gonna produce a certain experience. Same with the cell phone, same with the bottle, same with everything. Everything. You see that doorknob there? It's called affordance. The technical word for what I'm talking about is called affordance. So I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna give you this example. I have to do it. I'm not gonna go like, okay, yeah, check this out, guys. I'm not gonna try to open the door like that. I'm gonna go like that because the doorknob, that's That's how it is. That's how the doorknob is. It's not like that. It's like that. And you're never gonna use it differently. It's always gonna go like that. You're not gonna go like that. Ever. You can try, to create an absurd experiment. And this is what absurd is. But it's not how it's gonna go. Alright? And it's kind of funny, there's another doorknob, probably 150-year-old right there. But anyway, so it's not the same doorknob, it's not gonna be used the same way. Telling you, I bet you that. So now come back to RPG. It's the same thing. Alright? So RPGs, the designer arrives like, okay, so I want you to role play teenage angst in high school. So I'm gonna have to produce prompt. So I'm gonna design some kind of I'm gonna call them game artifact or experience artifact, stuff that's gonna force you to do so. There's a game right here. It's called Feed. Alright? Feed. Great prompt game. This game is for you. Look at the guy there. He's hungry. He wants blood. Alright? Now, the designer is amazing. What he did, he created a hunger scale. Now my printer is not good, but it's hunger, and there is like a scale here. The redder the scale, the more hungry you are for blood. Because this game wants you to be a vampire. For real. Not like Vampire the Masquerade, where I heard the 5th edition is way better than the old one to create that hunger feel that is supposed to be there, right? In the first place in Vampire, World of Darkness Vampire. But this game did it before the 5th edition of Vampire, and do it differently. And there's also an addiction thing here. So you have the hunger scale, you have the addiction here. I mean, everything about this game prompts you to be faced with hard choice between taking the blood or not. And this is by design, right? This is how system shapes play. It's by design. The way the system is going to be designed, it's going to shape the experience. So prompt is huge, and this is a good example. All right, you have example in Pendragon as well, and stuff like that. Now another way that I think that system shapes play is with subsystems. So you have your core system, the core rules. And any game has a core kind of like system to solve task resolution kind of thing. And usually that system is really abstract. Roll a d20. Jumping from a plane, roll a d20. I'm solving a mystery, roll a d20. I'm shooting a gun, roll, everything is a roll 20 kind of thing. Or whatever, dice pool, d6 dice pool. And it doesn't really relate, right? So you have your mechanic, your resolution mechanic. It's an abstract mathematical thing, about probability. So some games want it more pulpy, so they have a bell curve that is different than other games. You get the idea. So this is a choice. There's many ways to go about that. Some are really interesting, some are more boring, some are more generic, some are more intricate, some are more complex. I'm thinking about Dark Eye right now. This German game, the die resolution is really complex, kind of like heavy, and you have another game like where it's one roll for everything, and it's really simple roll. You roll it, and you have everything in that same roll. So you have all kinds of that doesn't really shape play that much. It shapes it, but it doesn't create an experience kind of thing. Not at least not for me. It depends. Some are better than others. I don't, there's so many games. I'm like, which one? But subsystems, for me, they do something else. When you have a subsystem for chases, when you have a subsystem for social encounter, when you have a subsystem for magic, or if you play a fantasy game, if you have a subsystem for fear, if you have or a prompt for fear, but that's not the same thing. If you have a subsystem for, combat, vehicle combat, or a subsystem for duel. I really like Western cowboy games that have a subsystem for duel. Because what it does, it comes in shapes play. It's not the same system that for the skill-based task resolution stuff. It's now we are in a certain situation. We are in a social encounter, so we have different rules of engagement. We have another system, right? This, for me, I think is how system shapes play. So, in the thing Singer posted, some people wrote above the question that the system doesn't shape play for him or her. I don't exactly know what he's saying or she's saying when he says that, because it seems obvious to me that it does with different, and it has, and the designers who create those systems have many tools. So I just gave two, like prompts and subsystems, and I think that these tools allow for a structure and a shaping of the experience. And I would even go further. I really agree with Sorensen and Lilquin. It's really like mind control, in a sense of, if you allow, because I want to create an addendum to this, is that some people do stuff like house ruling. And I'm not talking about hacking here. I'm going to really talk about house ruling. So the difference is, like, hacking would be, I will take away something from the game completely, or I will add something to the game that is not there. Hacking. Or replace. So I take that out and put that there instead. Alright, and I play the rest raw. Alright, hacking. House ruling would be, I change a little bit of that. I don't do that completely. I house rule stuff. That I don't use it that way. It's really similar. I don't want to get semantical. It could be an interesting video to make the distinction. I think I did it in the past, if I recall. But someone who house rule. Okay, so someone who, the idea of, like, I don't play by the rules. It's my game, so I change the rules like I want, and I play the rules like the game like I want, and all that. So I don't play it raw, and I house rule stuff that I don't like, or skip a step, or whatever. When you do that, it's kind of like a consequence. It's kind of like a proof that the system shaped play. And it also show you how, because most people, when they house rule and they do and they mess with the design as intended, what they want is to create an experience that is familiar to them, an experience that they already know they like, right? Because that one here is gonna mess with their conception of fun, their conception of what is nice. So therefore, they want to change that that proposed experience by design, by make it fit their taste that they know they like better. Most of the time, that's how it works. That's why people house rule, and so they want to shape play. They want to shape play because they don't like the way the system shapes play already. So they're like, okay, so I think that's too cumbersome, or I think that's too slow, or so I'm gonna house rule that. So yeah, so I think it's kind of like a proof that the proof is in the pudding. I should close the video on that note. All right, thank you for watching.